Hey cycling community, this is Steve Gruslis, the Cycling Greek, and I'm here with Gary Egorov. And Gary did Kaiser last week, and if I would have done Kaiser, I'd still be in bed, but he's riding pretty well right now. So you missed the hail.
I did. I was fortunate to get up in the early group and just get a light sprinkle at the very top. It just started to rain as I was starting to descend. So it felt good in the body as you went down and cooled off the core. So.
And those that were slower, they got the hail.
Hail and soaked and got cold and hypothermia, and they were in a mess.
So it was 49 at the top, wet, hailing for a lot of those people, and 106 for high at the bottom.
Right.
And as you were saying, there were 54 DNFs out of like 200 plus riders.
Right.
And some of them went to the hospital because of hypothermia.
And some went to the hospital because of heat exhaustion.
Yeah.
On the same ride.
See, I hear that, and I'm glad I didn't do it this year. Definitely was not ready. So the plan for today is I'm doing more big gear training to get the power up. I did a little of that before, and then as Kaiser was getting closer, I cut that off. So now I'm getting ready for some races that I'm interested in. So we started at the bottom of this 9-mile undulating climb to get to this point. And for me right now, I just want to do that comfortable. This guy was going fast. I couldn't stay up with him. I said, I'm going to slow down. I'll just meet you at the top. I got to get this guy to race a little bit next year. So when we get to the bottom of the big 8-mile climb, that's where I'm going to do my 55 to 65 cadence, theoretically all the way up. When I did it before, it was at 5:30 in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning. It was very cool. Now the high is only 96, but we're at the high of the day pretty much. And so I'm hoping that I'm going to have as good a workout today. If not, then it's getting up at 3:30 in the morning to get out here and do this next week. Okay, well, let's get at it.
While it was my intent to do the low cadence strength work all the way up this 8-mile climb, the heat caused me to change my plans. After about 14 minutes, I was cooked. Gary had elected to do the same workout I was doing. He had never done this before. He stayed on my wheel quite a ways, but then he had to drop off. At that 14-minute mark where I was nice and cooked, I backed off to my easiest gear and just spun slowly. I decided to change my workout, because I really had no other choice, to where I would do the 5 minutes of low cadence strength work followed by 5 minutes of easy spinning. It was during this 5 minutes of easy spinning where Gary would leapfrog ahead of me, and then when I started with my 5 minutes of low cadence strength work, then I'd be chasing him. And that worked out quite nicely. When I started that next 5-minute strength interval, I had a lot of distance to make up, and in the heat, that was pretty tough. When I finally did catch him, he stayed with me for a little bit, but then it was my turn to get a little bit of distance. During my next slow period, I made sure that I spun just a little faster, because I certainly didn't want to make up that same amount of distance again, because I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to. It looked like Gary was keeping his pace pretty steady. That steady pacing along with his climbing abilities was prompting me to stay on my game, where otherwise I might not have because of the heat. As I've begun another 5-minute strength interval, I see that again there's quite a bit of distance there between me and Gary that I got to make up. Next time I'm going to have to spin a little faster to stay closer to him. When I finally make the connection to leapfrog past him, I notice he makes a bigger effort to jump on my wheel and stay with me. One of these times I figure he's going to be able to do that and then just go past me, leave me in the dust when I slow down after my interval. Toward the end of each 5-minute strength interval, I can feel it in my stomach and greatly appreciate it when I'm finally slowing down. That being stated, I now make a concerted effort to stay closer to him during my 5-minute rest periods. We have maybe 2 miles and 450 feet of climbing to go, so I don't know, especially at this point, how many more long-distance catches I have left in me. But from the looks of it, I gotta do it again. Even though we're about 4,000 feet right now, the sun is just cooking on us. But when we go in the shade like this, it's like going into a whole cool another world. I can lay down a few more watts without getting cooked, and I'm sure Gary can too. With about a quarter mile to go, with a little bit of undulation, and overall it's flatter now. The shade's there, it's nice and cool. Even though I'm in my 5-minute rest period, I'm keeping the RPMs high to keep the speed up. But apparently not fast enough, because at a certain point, Gary says, I have enough of this, I'm going ahead. And then he just shoots past me. Now, the only training Gary's been doing is for this Climb to Kaiser event, all long distance and climbing. I'm thinking this guy's got a lot of potential. With some focused training, he can have a lot of fun in road races and maybe even get some results. Yep, I got to work on him. So now I'm trying to catch him. The finish is just past that green sign there, and he can hear me as I'm coming up, and then he starts to pick it up. I try to pick it up, but I don't have too much pick up left in me right now. He finishes ahead of me. A great job. It's been a great workout. Having somebody that has similar abilities to you and is motivated is a great training tool. This is like gold. So now we're taking a quick right and going down to the fire station, and we're going to turn around and climb back up. Now this is a 0.7 mile wall that we're going up, where I will be sprinting for about 20 seconds and spinning easy for about 40 seconds and repeating this all the way up. Gary is watching me do my workout, and at a certain point toward the top, he just smoothly flies by me. So now I've got to try to figure out how I'm going to catch him before the top. As you can see, that is just not going to happen.
Okay, on the camera again. Okay. So, okay, that's right. Got it. So I was telling him earlier that it's good to have a person of likability because it just pushes you. And he climbs better than I do, and that helps. So when I download, I'm going to see how fast we went up the 4-lane, because I thought it was a fairly fast rate of speed that we did that with. So that was excellent, excellent. And then he weighs about. Usually I'm complaining about people being lighter than me being in front of me. He's about 20 pounds heavier than me, and he's in front of me. So he's doing about 20 watts more than I'm doing when we're climbing up that. So I'm going to get that data and post it down here too. Okay guys, remember, comment, like, subscribe. The Cycling Greek.